It happened faster than I expected. The next time we met, it wasn't at the clinic. I don't remember who first suggested seeing each other outside of work. Maybe it was me, maybe her. It didn't matter. All that mattered was that it happened. And it felt terrifyingly easy. We met at a quiet cafe, somewhere no one would recognize me. I told myself it was just coffee, just two people talking, but we both knew the truth. Sitting across from her, everything felt different. With my wife, silence was heavy, filled with things we no longer said. But with her, there was no hesitation, no strain, just laughter, shared stories, and the startling realization that, for the first time in years, I felt alive. Like the man I used to be before my marriage became a habit instead of a love story. There was something about her magnetic, intoxicating. I'd never considered myself the type to cheat, but sitting there, I knew I'd already crossed a line. Even if we hadn't touched. We went for a walk after coffee, still pretending this wasn't dangerous. Then, in a quiet moment, she turned to me and before I could think, I kissed her. It wasn't planned. It wasn't even a decision. It just happened. And the second our lips met, I knew there was no going back. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a dam breaking, years of buried want crashing through. She kissed me back just as desperately, like we were both starving for the same thing. No words were needed. We both knew. One thing led to another. Her apartment, fast, reckless. For those stolen hours, nothing else existed. Not my marriage, not guilt, not consequences. Just her, and the way she made me feel like a man again. Not just a husband going through the motions, but afterward, reality hit like a fist to the chest. Lying beside her, the weight of what I'd done settled over me. This wasn't harmless anymore. This was betrayal. And no matter how good it had felt, I couldn't take it back. The guilt was instant, suffocating. Driving home, my mind raced. What if my wife finds out? What if someone saw us? Every text from her felt like a ticking bomb. At home, I played the role, smiling through dinners, but inside, I was unraveling. I told myself it wouldn't happen again. But the pull was too strong. The way she looked at me, the way she saw me was addictive. My wife noticed the distance, asked if I was okay. I lied, over and over. I tried to cut it off, ignored texts, made excuses, but the damage was done. The guilt was a constant shadow. I thought about confessing, but how? How could I destroy her like that? So I stayed trapped between the life I had and the life I wanted, knowing nothing would ever be the same. A new understanding. Days passed. The tension in the apartment eased, but something unspoken lingered between my mother and me. She went back to her routines, but whenever our eyes met, I could feel the weight of our last conversation, like we both knew something had shifted. But neither of us knew how to say it. That Friday, I invited friends over, filling the apartment with noise to drown out the quiet between us. Mom peeked in a few times, her expression softening as she watched us laugh. "Looks like you're having a good time," she said lightly before slipping away. I could tell she wanted to reconnect, but didn't know how. Later, after everyone left, I found her at the kitchen table, lost in thought. "Hey," I said, breaking the silence. "I didn't mean to make things weird the other day." She sighed. "I know. It's just, complicated." How I pressed. "Being a mother doesn't come with a manual," she admitted quietly. "I want to be there for you, but I also need to live my own life." I nodded. "I get that. I'm not a kid anymore. It's weird for both of us." "Exactly," she said, a small smile breaking through. "You're my son. I'll always protect you. But I'm more than just Mom." The air between us felt lighter. "I'd like to know more about you," I said carefully. "If you're okay sharing." She hesitated, then nodded. "Maybe it's time. You're not a child anymore. You deserve to know me, too." Over the next few weeks, she opened up stories about her youth, her dreams, the sacrifices she'd made. Began to see her differently, not just as my mother, but as a woman with her own history, her own heart. One night, after a particularly raw conversation, she turned to me, serious. "Promise me something." "What?" "Promise you'll respect my choices, just as I respect yours. We both deserve that." "I promise," I said, and meant it. As the months passed, our relationship changed. There were still awkward moments, but we talked more, understood more. She even introduced me to her friends, women who knew her as her, not just as my mom. One evening, after a gathering, she looked at me with pride. "You've grown so much," she said, eyes shining. "I'm proud of the man you're becoming." "I'm proud of you too," I said, and realized it was true. Not just as my mom asked you. The laughter in our home returned, but it was different now. Real. As I got ready to leave for college, I realized this was just the beginning. We were still learning both together and apart. But for the first time, I felt hopeful. Whatever came next, we'd face it honestly. No more shadows. No more silence.